Hello there, and welcome to the Hammerman for today, August 14th. So, Stage 1, I had to laugh because, like, Stage 1 is basically just the world's worst warrior run. You know, like, the guy who just got warriors and is like, well, I don't have smokes yet, I guess this is how I use warriors. Oh, this troop sucks! The only difference is, I guess, he'd have to have max landing crafts when he first got his Zookas. I don't know. Or when he first got his warriors, I guess. Anyways. So yeah, Stage 1 went swimmingly. Stage 2, as you can probably predict, kind of similar. Went pretty good when you start throwing up a whole bunch of Zookas ahead of the Riflemen. It definitely helps, and as you can see, the Riflemen have their own problems to worry about. Might require a union meeting, because if they don't have health benefits, dear goodness, I feel sorry for them. Anyway, so Stage 2, Crumples, nice and fast and easy, and I was kind of expecting like a bit of a arc, I don't know, a difficulty increase, a bar graph, some sort of thing that swoops up like this way. So I was like, oh geez, okay, I don't know what's coming in, and I saw all the medics with the rifles, and I was like, oh great, now I'm gonna get rifle medicked right in the face with some tanks, just for good measure. And basically, by pure luck, my one shock launcher, grabbed all of those medics just as they were about to start stepping away towards the new riflemen and the tanks and everything that had just landed. And I basically just kind of laughed, because this attack would have been way harder had I not been able to just catch all of those medics together at the same time, get them stun locked, and then just like my rocket launchers unleashed a wave of hate right in their faces. It worked perfectly. I wish I could claim that I anticipated that would happen and that was my plan all along, but not so much. It was no more my plan than the swoopy graph. So, moving on. Stage 4, going through... Oh my goodness, okay. Going with our first, I guess, round of Grens. And I was actually really worried. But it worked out because everything... like, heavy and rifleman related goes over to the right-hand side, and everything Gren related goes over to the left-hand side. So I end up actually being able to nuke quite a number of the Grens before I have to worry about the wave of hate coming up the right-hand side. What I would suggest is busting your rocket launchers over towards the left-hand side of the beach, or the top end of the beach, or whatever you want to call it. And then it'll allow those rocket launchers just to continuously destroy the Grens from, obviously, outside of Gren range. And it lets the machine guns and the flamethrowers and everything down on the bottom end deal with the heavies and the riflemen and all that kind of stuff. And then eventually, when that last wave of riflemen comes... you're going to have those rocket launchers just a little further back, kind of in the corner there. They'll be able to do some serious damage on those before they run into your cannons, sniper towers, mortars, etc., etc. Okay, moving on to whatever one this is. I think 5, I forget how to count. It kind of rolled out really nice-like, where the warriors came out first, and they're able to destroy, I guess, what I would call, like, my buffer or my wall of, like, useless buildings. But they're able to destroy that, as well as some of the I guess, first row of defenses. So my machine guns and my flamethrowers, they can't really reach the Grens. But because those warriors come out first, they actually chew that up, which is a good thing in my case, because that allowed the Grens to kind of fall into range. Now, don't get me wrong, they still gutted me in a pretty serious way right in the middle, but fortunately they pulled up short just before the rocket launchers, which means I had the rocket launchers able to just kind of fling death down on top of their heads. Also, don't get me wrong, MVP mortar up there in the very top. I know that mortar did some work, but the rockets, come on, they kind of steal the show. It's not their fault, it's just the way they're made. So, coming in with some warrior medic? It's actually really nice because the warriors ran up and it pulls those medics up ahead of the riflemen, which means, bam, right there when the shock hits, all those medics just get locked right up, which is fantastic because, as we've kind of already been covering, we want the medics to die. Honestly, like, more medics and more Grens in this Hammerman than I have seen in a really long time. And as you can see, as usual, I am trying to do as much as possible without any kind of prototypes or ice. So no prototypes yet on this stage, but don't worry, they coming. And just because I'm lazy, I almost feel bad because with Stage 7, I ended up using Damage Amp 2 that I had floating around. Probably didn't need it. Honestly, I'm sure if I had put some effort into Stage 7, I could have found a way around it. But as you can see, like Stage 6 here, still doing pretty solid. No damage amp. It's just kind of sitting in the back end, damage amping my sculptor and radar, possibly in range of my iron storage as well. Watch out, my iron storage is coming for you. It's flinging hot lead. Or, well, iron. It would be a lead storage otherwise, wouldn't it? Okay. Stage 7, really not that bad. A whole lot of riflemen and some medics and some craziness, but as you can see, no Hot Pocket. I went with just my Damage Amp 2 because it was sitting in the back there. Honestly, as you can see, once again, I nailed the medics right off the get-go. And honestly, I feel like that is the key to this entire stage. You've got to get rid of those medics, and you've got to get rid of them fast. Having two flamethrowers right up front being backed up by that Damage Amp 2 definitely doesn't hurt either. It almost turns the two of them, like the two of them combined, into a Hot Pocket, only without the Hot Pocket parts, you know what I mean? So like those flamethrowers do some work on the wave of riflemen, and as you can see, like once they're through that initial wave of riflemen, they still have to deal, when the riflemen are through that initial wave of flamethrowers, they still have to deal with like the machine guns, and then they get into the mortars and the sniper. So like things go badly for them, but overall it worked out really nicely because just as they were getting up on the rocket launchers, you can see the riflemen kind of got finished off, and then I've got those boom cannons and I guess standard cannons in the back that were just working, man. Like they were kicking some butt. Like you can see the health of those tanks just dropping from full to like next to nothing, and I started to get worried, I'm not gonna lie. When I was down to one sniper tower and one cannon, I thought I was done for, but as you can see, it worked out for me. Anyways, guys, thanks very much for watching. Hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully it's been entertaining. And above all else, hopefully you guys have a fantastic day.